ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ महागणपतये नमः। In the last session, we saw this rather unusual Anuvaaka number 3, where we heard about Rudra appearing not only as the divine vibhutis like Gomata or a sunrise or Paurnami, but also in the form of thieves and varieties of criminals. Yeah, they can be land grabbers, muggers, and hackers, chain snatchers, shoplifters, and the list goes on. Some of them very, very sophisticated also. So in olden times, we had the case of this dice game in the Mahabharata, where the Pandavas got cheated and they lost everything. And then in the Ramayana, we see how Ravana impersonates a sadhu, comes in the disguise of a sadhu, and takes away Sita Devi by force. Yeah. So crime is always going to be there in every yuga. But today, the weapons have become more sophisticated. Today, the thieves disguise themselves as security officers and bank officials and just cheat the innocent victims. Yeah. But here, Sri Rudram says, Namaha Sarvebhyaha Rudrebhyaha. So I do a namaskaras to all of them. So I see Rudra in the form of all the people, whether they are sophisticated, well-meaning sajjanas or the durjanas. Krishna has said in the Gita, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddesher juna tishtati. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. O Arjuna, I am equally indwelling all the beings in the hearts. And by the power of my Maya, I spin the worlds, I spin the people. So they are driven to action by under the spell of my Maya. So the Avidya Maya is going to drive people to go against Dharma, and the Vidya Maya, the people will surrender and have devotion. So Rudra is the punishing aspect of Ishvara for those who are engaged in Papa Karma Phalam, and the same Ishvara appears as the benign, auspicious Shiva who comes to bless the people. Yeah. So I can do namaskara to all. So if it is asked, why should I do namaskaras to all of them? It is for my own benefit. So the Sri Rudram is helping one to cultivate that inner tranquility. Yeah, that samatvam, samadarshanam, sarvatma bhavana. To see equally Rudra in all the beings. So what this will do is it will eliminate my raga dveshas, my sense of anxiety and fear, and I will learn to drop all the resistance. I will have unconditional acceptance towards one and all. After all, Vedanta says good and evil, they are really in the mind. They are projections of the mind. So where is samsara? Where is good and evil? Papa punyam is not there in deep sleep. So when the mind is not there, then there is no such difference of perceptions. Yeah. So seeing all as Rudra, helps me drop my anxiety, get emotional independence, and I become like the bhakta described by Krishna in chapter 12. समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः और अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखः सुखः क्षमी. Balanced in the face of opposites. And Krishna says, such a one who has this equal vision, unconditional acceptance, and who has no resistance is my dearest devotee. So that is the purpose of our study of Rudram. So when we don't do this, then there is a constant fear. I'm going to be exploited, I'm persecuted, I'm suffering, and the world is inflicting pain on me. So there is no shanti. And ashantasya kutaha sukham. So for one, there is no shanti. How can there be happiness? No? As it is said that every saint or a sajjana has had a past, and every sinner has definitely got hope in the future, has a future. So even the papa krittamaha, even the most hardened criminal would have a ray of compassion in the heart, would have done some punya karma. So that is the reason for, to drop all the resistance. So the only sure recipe for lasting peace and happiness is to Ishwarize everything. That is to cover the whole world with Ishvara, Rudra, Buddhi. Yeah, internally, of course. Yeah, and that is the teachings that we are seeing now. That, O Rudra, you alone appear as all these forms. Yeah, and please bless me to gain that Sarvatma Bhavana. Today, we are going to begin this Anuvaaka 4. And this Anuvaaka 4 also has a Sarvatma Bhavana. It has also got the mantras with the Ubhayato Namaskara mantras. That is, there are preceding Namaha and following Namaha for every Nama. And every Anuvaaka has a very particular Phalashruti. So this Anuvaaka 4, the one who chants it for a number of days with Shraddha, it is said to be free from the dreaded diseases, yeah, and ailments of life. So let us now see this Anuvaaka 4 one by one. Now I'm going to recite the whole Anuvaaka first, because it is one sentence, yeah, and then we will see the individual meanings of every line. Okay. नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विवित्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नम उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतीभ्यश्च वो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो रथेभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः क्षत्रिभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमश्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः. So that is the whole Anuvaaka 4. And we will see now the individual meanings here. Namaha Avyadhini Ibhyo Vividyantibhyascha Vo Namaha. Now, this Anuvaaka is beginning with the salutations to the female Rudras. Yeah. In fact, it's saluting the Stri Murtayas, that is the Stri Shakti. So, Namaha Avyadhinibhyaha Vividyantibhyaha Cha Vaha Namaha. So, here also, like the previous Anuvaaka, it will end with Vo Namaha, and Vo is Vaha. Vaha means unto you all. And who are they? So, Namaha Avyadhini Ibhyo. We saw this word in the previous Anuvaaka also. Avyadhini Bhyam. Yeah, those who afflict and attack. And here it is referring to the feminine power that is capable of attacking and inflicting and punishing. You know, in the history, we have heard of this great, Shaktis in the form of Rudrama Devi, Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi. So they are all embodiments of that power being described here. And even in the nature, we see that when there are storms and hurricanes, so these are all the Prakriti Ma's forms which are, attacking and causing this Adi Daivika afflictions. That is the Namaha, salutations unto all of you. And even when we see in our Guloka, we see that the Stri Shakti, in the form of all these, great women power that we see today. Women are flying fighter jets, and they are occupying major offices which used to be very male dominated. They are in the stock exchange. They are driving Olas and Ubers, and they are doctors, chartered accountants. So many professions, they are occupying. So all this speak about that glory of Ishvara in the form of the Stri Murti or women power. So unto them, there is this namaskaras. Even in the field of sports, we see that they are now in cricket and soccer and hockey and kabaddi, all these fields, we see the glory of, Stri. So that is the first line. Namaha Avyadhini Vividyantibhya. Vividyantibhya means Vividhena. In various forms, we find the Shakti manifesting. So, unto all of them, Vaha Namaha. Unto you, in the form of the feminine Rudras, our salutations. No? In fact, Puja Swamiji has written a note that in America, now most of those cyclones and hurricanes, they are named after feminine names, like Katerina. No, there was a hurricane called Katerina. Second mantra here. Namaha Uganabhyastrugum Hatibhyascha Vo Namaha. So namaskaras to Uganas. Who are the Uganas? Uganas are the Utkrishta Ganas. Utkrishta Ganas are those blessing Devis. Yeah, and there are these names of the blessing Devis as Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Chamundeshwari. So those Devi Shaktis which bless the world, there are a number of them, 7 of them. This is referred to the Sapta Matrikas. Yeah, the Gana, the group of 7 Devis who bless in this form, the 7 Matas. But then there are also Trigum Bhyascha, unto those Shaktis which also can destroy and afflict. We often say, oh, Kali, this has appeared as Kali who wreaks havoc, or Durga who is so intense and fierce. So that is the Shakti that can crush and destroy. So Kali and Durga, we all worship them as the epitome of surrender and power and strength. So here, these punishing Devis, who are very fierce, warrior-like, they are also worshipped in our culture and seen as a source of power and strength. the puja which we do during Navaratri. So here we can take as the Utkrishta Ganas are the forces of nature and which are personified as all the Devis and which can afflict and attack in all these ways. Nama Uganabhyastrugum Hadibhyascha Vo Namaha. Third, Namo Gritsebhyo Gritsapatibhyascha Vo Namaha. So, Namaha Gritsebhyaha Gritsapatibhyaha Cha Vaha Namaha. Now, again, you will find all the words in Chaturthi Vibhakti because of Namaha. So, Namaha Gritsebhyaha. Who is a Gritsaha? A Gritsaha is a greedy person. Yeah. Lobha, Lobhi. So, Krishna has said that Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vidhyena Miha Vairinam. So, this is the Vairi. The greedy person is the Gritsaha. So, unto Gritsebhyaha, all the greedy people in the world, Namaha. As I just said, there is enough and abundance in the earth, to satisfy the whole globe and to remove hunger. But there is not enough to satisfy even one person's greed, it is said. So here we do namaskaras in the form of greed. And this greed, where there is wealth, where there is wealth, we find they will be drinking and dancing and pleasure seeking. So they are not our role models. But yet we do not want to brand them and label them. So, Namaha Gritsebhyaha. So there is another meaning which commentators give here is the element Agni. Agni has the word Analaha. Analaha means Alam na vidyate iti Analaha. The fire will never say enough. Just like the mind of a greedy person will never say enough. So, the fire is a Gritsaha, can also be taken here. And Gritsapatihi. Gritsapatihi is the lord of the element fire. That is you, O Rudram. Unto you, we do namaskaras. And you who are in the form of these pleasure-seeking indulgent people are fire and their lords. Namo Gritsebhyo. Namo Gritsebhyo Gritsapatibhyascha Vo Namaha. Next. Namo Vrateebhyo Vratapatibhyascha Vo Namaha. Namaha Vratebhyaha Vratapatibhyaha Cha Vaha Namaha. So the Vaha Namaha in the end is common. Namaskaras unto all of you. Yeah. Now, Vrata is the word. Now, Vrata is a collection or a host or a group. And a group belonging where the people or the members belong to different varnas. Yeah, different varnas and different caste, gender will be different, status will be different, lineage, everything will be different. And these vratas are any form of group. It is said that man is a social animal. Yeah. So we have so many groups now, WhatsApp groups, social media groups, then that because there's a sense of belonging. And many people will derive their identity also from being a part of a vrata. So here, vrata is not a homogeneous group, but a mixed group. Like on a railway station. When you go to a railway station, we see all kinds of people, rich people, poor people, posh people, or, simply dressed people. Thieves also we'll find on the railway station. That is called a vrata. So, unto all the members belonging to all kinds of vratas, groups, Namaha. Then, Vratapatihi. Vratapatihi is the one who governs it. Like if you have a huge assembly, then there will be a chairperson, a speaker. On the railway station, who is going to govern all these people? There will be a superintendent, station master will be there. So, Vratapatibhyaha, unto all of them, Namaha. So, Namo Vratebhyaha Vratapatibhyascha Vo Namah. So this is all about, again, the Sarvatma Bhavana. That is how the Anuvakas are going to bless the mind to see the commonness, the Rudras in all the aspects of life. Next. Namo Ganebhyo Ganapatibhyascha Vo Namaha. Namo Ganebhyo Ganapatibhyascha Vo Namaha. Namaha Ganebhyaha Ganapatibhyascha Vaha Namaha. Now the word Gana. Gana also means a host. But here it is referring to the attendants. Yeah. The Shiva Ganas we speak about. Attendants or, who serve them, who serve the deities. And hence these Ganas here are the celestials. Just like in Svargaloka, we have all the Devatas who are serving Indra, who is a leader. So there we have Aditya, Varuna, Vayu, Kubera, all these Devatas. They will have their own unique domain. They are empowered. Yeah. So to those Ganas, all those celestials who are Adhishtana Devatas and who are delegated with some power, the groups of Adityas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Ganebhyaha Namaha. Salutations to all of them. And who is the Lord of all the Ganas, all the celestials? It depends. Ganapati is one of the Lord of the Ganas, or Nandikeshwara. So like that, or Subramanya Swami. But ultimately it is you, Rudra. You are, the one Ishvara empowering all the Ganas and the Ganapatis, the Lord of all the Ganas. So unto you, our Namaskaras. Yeah. Now, so Vrata and Gana, they're kind of similar in meaning. Namo Virupebhyo Vishwarupebhyascha Vo Namaha. Namo Virupebhyo Vishwarupebhyascha Vo Namaha. Namaha Virupebhyaha Vishwarupebhyaha cha Vaha Namaha. Very simple words actually. Virupaha. Virupaha. Now that is, they are the so-called Divyangas. Divyangas are the specially abled people. So it's called Virupaha. A crude way of saying is disfigurement. Yeah. Disfigurement, but a euphemism, a nice way of saying that is Divyangas. The one who are specially abled. No? And another meaning given here are also the Virupas are the Digambaras. Who are the Digambaras? You may have heard it in the context of Jainism. Jainism has several sects, and two of them are Shvetambara and Digambara. Dik Ambaram Yasya Saha. So for whom the directions are the Ambaram, the cloth, are the Digambaras. In other words, they have no clothes on. Yeah, they are the Digambara Jains. And then the Shvetambara, they are more familiar to us. They will have white clothes. Yeah. So Digambaras are also called as Virupas. Yeah. Then Virupas is, without Vina Rupa, like the elements, space and air. They don't have Rupa. We cannot see space with our eyes or see air with our eyes. So they are also examples of Virupas. And so, unto all of them, Rudras in the form of all the varieties of Virupas. Then Vishwarupebhyaha cha Vaha Namaha. Vishwarupaha is the varieties that are there in the Vishwa. Yeah, in the Vishwa, we find brown people and fair people, dark people and shades in between. Then various ethnic groups are there, races are there, various professional pursuits, caste, gender. So all this variety that we see in the Vishwa, unto them all, I see the one indwelling Rudra. Like often the example is given of a wedding. When you go to a wedding, we find different kinds of people. There are the posh people, very affluent. Then there are the simple people. Then some are dressed in a modern way, some are traditionally dressed, some are casually dressed. So all these varieties, wherever they are in the Vishwaha, Namaha. Rudra is in the form of all the Virupas, all the varieties. And so without discrimination, we salute the Namaha. So you see now, we can see that how all the differences of status, gender, caste, age, caste, race is all at the level of Upadhi. Yeah, Upadhi are the bodies, the Avidya Upadhi for a Jiva. And so at the level of the Upadhi alone, there are all these superficial differences. And so here Shastra says, may we develop that Sukshma Drishti, the Jnana Chakshu, to penetrate beyond these Upadhis, Vishwarupa Upadhis, Virupa Upadhis, and view the subtlemost Tattvam, and that is you, O Rudra. Next. Namo Mahadbhyah Kshullakebhyascha Vo Namaha. Namo Mahadbhyah Kshullakebhyascha Vo Namaha. Namaha Mahadbhyah Kshullakebhyah cha Vaha Namaha. Mahat Shabda, very important. Mahat Shabda, Mahadbhyah means unto the Mahans, unto the great ones who are brilliant, who are geniuses, scholars, and who have accomplished great things. Now we see the names of Einstein or Elon Musk, yeah, or recently Gukesh, the youngest, world chess champion now. So these are all Mahans, yeah, they have attained some great level of achievement, yeah, or the IAS, IPS, the list goes on. But then there are also the Kshullakas. Kshullakas are just the opposite, yeah. They are the ordinary, simple, common folk, who are not really sung, unsung heroes, and who may be our next door neighbors, yeah, or just our support staff, the driver, the maid, or the cook, or the gardener, yeah, or even the beggar. Do we respect beggars? Not really. Yeah, we give sympathy. We have sympathy for the beggars and we give some shelter and money. Yeah, but the great ones, Mahat people, are whom we respect for their skill and talent. But here, Sri Rudram says, all of them are Rudras equally. So our salutations to all of them. Mahatbhyaha kshullakebhyaha cha vaha namaha. So this is giving us the teaching of Samadarshanam, equal vision. And you may connect with that Gita shloka again. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Samadarshanam in all. Then the next one. Namo Rathebhyo Rathebhyascha Vo Namaha. See, in the context of the Vedic times, often the chariot imagery will come again and again. So here, Namaha Rathibhyaha Arathebhyaha cha Vaha Namaha. You have to be careful of the sandhis. First word is Rathibhyaha. So unto those who are seated in the chariots. Yeah, so in olden days, we had all the kings and the warriors. They were moving about in chariots. And today, the mode of transport is not a chariot, but Porsches and Ford and all these, mobiles. So whoever is seated in a transport, mode of transport is a Rathi. So Rathibhyaha Namaha. Then what about Arathebhyaha, who don't have, any Ratha, who don't have a mode of transport. So they have no choice but to walk or take the metro or the bus. So they don't have their mode of transport. So this is pointing out that be it the haves or the have-nots. Yeah. Rathibhyaha arathebhyaha cha vaha namaha. Our salutations to all of them. Then the Ratha imagery goes on. नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः. नमः रथेभ्यः रथपतिभ्यः च वः नमः. Now, rathebhyah means now salutations to not a sentient being, but the ratha itself. Yeah, the ratha itself. So you see this, the Lord is seen as the nimitta karanam for everything. This chara jagat and achara jagat. And that is why in our Saraswati puja, we do the Ayudha puja. Yeah, we see our cars, our refrigerators, our devices, mixie grinders, all of them as, divine. Why do we apply the kumkum on them also? Because namaha rathebhyaha. So just as the chariot itself is a manifestation of Ishvara. Yeah, panchabhautikam. So anything, even without a Sukshma Shariram or with the Sukshma Shariram, all of them deserve our namaskaras. All that is here is Ishvara. So that is the point here, that even the Ratha, which is a Jadavastu, inanimate, yeah, we do puja and we view as a gift of Ishvara, rather manifestation of Ishvara. Then what about the Rathapatihi? Rathapatihi is not just seated in the Ratha, but the owner. Yeah, he may not be seated. So Rathapati is to those who own the chariots or whatever mode of transport. Namaha. Now, yeah, and it continues. Namasena abhyasenanibhyascha vo namaha. Namasena abhyasenanibhyascha vo namaha. And now back to the army context. Yeah, army context, which we saw earlier. Namaha Sena Abhyaha. Namaha to the Senas, armies. Then Namaha to Senanibhyaha, to the commanders and the chiefs of the armies, army battalions, our namaskaras. Yeah. So here it is being pointed out now that every profession, every skill, there is no superiority or inferiority, because everyone is a contribution to the world. Yeah, and it is a form of seva by which I am offering in the cosmic yajna. That is going to be pointed out now. Namaha kshatribhyas sangrahitrebhyascha vo namaha. Namaha kshatribhyah sangrahitrebhyah cha vo vaha namaha. Now the kshatribhyah means unto the one who is a shikshaka, who is a guru. Guru of what? Guru of the art of riding chariots. Yeah. Namaha kshatribhyah. So it is, the Sarathi. The Sarathi is a charioteer. The charioteer has a very important function. We see that in the Mahabharatam, because of the Sarathi alone, either that the warrior in the chariot can be protected or can be destroyed. He has to navigate very deftly through the battlefield. So there, one has to learn this art, this discipline. And here the first namaskaras are to those trainers, to those gurus who teach the art of driving. Namaha kshatribhyah. Then sangrahitrabhyah cha. Sangrahitrabhya means the one who is holding the reins or the steering wheel of the transport. So that is a shishya. So namaskaras to those who are learning an art of skill, and namaskaras to the gurus and teachers who are teaching. So namaskaras unto the software and the hardware in modern times, and namaskaras to the operators and the teachers teaching that particular skill or, function. Namaha kshatribhyah sangrahitribhyah cha vo namaha. . Then we come to the next profession, which is नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमः नमः तक्षभ्यः रथकारेभ्यः च वो नमः. Now taksha, who is a taksha? Taksha is a carpenter. Now the carpenter has a certain design or a plan. Then rathakara. Rathakara means ratham karoti iti rathakara, the one who designs chariots, who has to assemble them. So unto all of them our namaskaras. It's a very special art. So we can extend the example to sculptors, to blacksmiths, so many skills and crafts we have. And each one of them is seen as divine. Seen as divine, whoever is professing that skill or teaching that skill to somebody, that is, saluted here. And so dignity of labor really is the message here. Next one. नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमः. Namaha to the kulalas. Very important in the context of Vedanta. Who are the kulalas? The pot maker. Pot maker. And our salutations to them. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mrittika eva satyam. You see how this humble pot made by a kulala, I've used it so many times, because to show the vision of Vedanta, clay is Satyam, pot is Mithya, Jagat is Mithya, and Ishvara is Satyam, Jagat Karanam. So our namaskaras to the humble kulalas, the pot makers, and karmaras, karmarebhyah cha vo namaha. The karmaras are the blacksmiths, the blacksmith, and where we see that metallurgy, how the metal items are going to be shaped, into various forms. So that is also a great contribution. Namah kulalebhyah karmarebhyah cha vo namaha. Then the last few lines. Namah punjishtebhyo nishadebhyascha vo namaha. Namaha punjishtebhyah nishadebhyah cha vaha namaha. So punjishtaha. Punjishtaha means those who are bird catchers, who hunt birds. We saw earlier also in the earlier Anuvaaka how there are the hunters, and they do it for a profession. It's illegal in Bharat, but in some countries it is legal, sanctioned. But here they hunt the animals for feathers, meat, fur, tusk, so many skin. So here it is about the bird hunters. Punjishtebhyah namaha. But our namaskarams even to them. You are also a form of Rudra. Then nishadebhyah cha vaha namaha. Nishada. Nishada is a fisherman. So nishada, fisher people who go early in the morning and who hunt for fish and bring it back either as a livelihood for eating or selling. Our namaskaras to nishada. In fact, Vyasacharya was born to a fisherwoman on a Dvipa. Dvaipayana Vyasacharya. So here it is, we come across in the Bhagavatam also, how that meat seller was able to give Upadesha to the sannyasi in the Bhagavatam, and he said, it is my prarabdha has, given me this ugly profession to kill and sell meat. But he was filled with that knowledge and he was able to give that knowledge to that sannyasi, in fact. So this is all about, at the level of the upadhi. So at the level of the upadhi only we have a kula, gotram, nakshatram, lineage, race, color, age, gender, and profession. It's all about, the livelihood. Then we have Nama ishukridbhyo dhanvakridbhyascha vo namaha. Namaha ishukridbhyah dhanvakridbhyah cha vaha namaha. Ishu is arrow. So Ishukrit is the arrow maker. So those who make arrows, yeah, or today those who supply guns, yeah, for warfare or security reasons, our namaskaras to them. Then Dhanvakritbhyaha, who make the bows, all these weapons, the weapon makers, our namaskaras to them. Then Namo Mrigayubhyashvanibhyascha Vo Namaha. Mriga. Mriga is an animal. Generally, it is in the case of wild animals. So, a Mrigayuhu is the one who hunts the wild animals, just like the Punjishtaha we saw, bird hunters. So, like that, there are hunters for various kinds of animals, wild animals, unfortunately. Poachers, they are called. So, our namaskaras to all of them. Mrigayubhyaha. Then Shvanibhyaha cha. Shvan. Shvan is the word for dog. Yeah. So Shvani, here is Shvanibhyascha is the one who lead the dogs. No, the owners we can say, or who lead the dogs, or who train the dogs. No, unto them also our namaskaras. And then finally we have Namashvabhyasvapatibhyascha Vo Namaha. Very nice, Shwan. So Rudra is in the form of a dog, Shwan. Yeah. And here is a domestical animal. Yeah. The dogs. And also Shvapatihi. Shvapatihi is really the owner of the dog. Yeah. And that is why some people who are very, very compassionate, towards the animals. So they can feel for them that how they cannot speak when they're hungry or thirsty. So they feed the dogs and they can communicate and understand their language. Yeah. Because they see the dogs or cats also, we can include cats, dogs, animals. All of them are equally manifestations of Ishvaraha. So there ends our Anuvaaka number 4, which is also the main topic is Sarvatma Bhavana. So we see that how, it takes a huge lot of maturity for us to appreciate the divine, not only in the beautiful things in the world, sunrise and Gomata and all the gifts, but in the entire spectrum. Can I see the divinity in thieves? Yeah, and all this common folk and trees, and regardless of the Kula, Gotra, race in any part of the world. Yeah, and also in the form of animals and insentient objects like chariots and objects and the hunters of animals. Yeah, can one see the same Ishvara indwelling in all of them? So for a jnani is described as gunatitaha. So gunatitaha means the one who has gone beyond the gunas. Yeah? Like the cow. The cow is supposed to be sattva guna. Yeah? And the dog is supposed to be rajoguna. And the pig is tamoguna predominantly. Yeah, but the jnani of gunatita has gone beyond the appearance of the gunas at the level of the bodies and the mind, and sees Rudra in all of them. And so such a jnani really enjoys the whole world spectrum as a divine leela, like a movie. Why? Because the jnani has covered everything with Ishvara Rudra Buddhi, and with the understanding that they're all Rudras. Yeah. And that is what Krishna also says in the Gita. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sajame na pranashyati. Chapter 6. Yaha mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati. The one who sees me, that is sees Krishna or Parameshwara in all, and sees the all in the Krishna Atma Tattvam, Atma Brahma Tattvam, tasya aham na pranashyami, sacha me na pranashyati. So he or she is my Parama Bhakta, and he will never come to come to a bad end. And I will always be connected to such a one. That is the assurance Krishna gives in the chapter 6 of the Gita. Now, the next Anuvakas from 5 to 8 are considered very, very important. And so far we saw Sarvatma Bhavana was a topic. Now from 5 to 8, the topic is going to be, how is Ishvara the Nimitta Karanam for the Jagat? What is the Nimitta Karanam means? Intelligent cause. What is the intelligence behind Srishti, Sthiti and Laya? That is going to be talked about in the upcoming Anuvakas. And then later on also the Upadana Karanam. No, we have heard many times in Vedanta how Ishvara is both the intelligent cause and the material cause. The material cause for Ishvara being Maya. Maya Upadana Karanam. And how that brings about the whole spectrum of life is the topic of the next Anuvakas up to 8, yeah, which we will do in the next session. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om